I'm here in St. Louis meeting with community groups trying to recover and repair damages, but they say they're overwhelmed that the federal government hasn't done enough to assist in repairs. The Trump administration has done a lot to change FEMA. What Trump has said that he wants to do is push disaster recovery back to the states. Now, this is why we went to St. Louis to see how that's playing out on the ground. On May 16th, a devastating tornado struck the city of St. Louis with winds of more than 150 miles per hour.
Oh my God! We're in a tornado!
On the day of the tornado, I was home. It was about 2:40 in the afternoon. My husband opened our back door of our kitchen and saw it barreling down Lindell Boulevard, which is like the main thoroughfare that it came down in St. Louis City that day. And I don't remember any sound. I actually remember it being very quiet, which is really scary. I remember turning around, he screamed to get the babies into the basement, and I looked outside and it was almost just like one of those snow globes. Everything was just swirling all together.
There's also a large number of people who are out of a home because their houses have been destroyed and FEMA isn't providing alternative places for people to stay, which is something they do sometimes. Here in St. Louis, much of the recovery effort has been managed not by the city or by federal officials, but by local groups that have organized and raised funds to repair and clear damage and debris from the streets.
What I've seen is people from all over the city of St. Louis, regular, everyday people, realizing that no one's coming for us and refusing to take that as normalcy. And so instead, they put on their boots every day, and they put on their gloves and their masks, and they do the work themselves.
FEMA is currently providing some support for the citizens of St. Louis through disaster recovery offices. Those handouts by FEMA are typically pretty small, in the range of $700-800 to several $1,000s. I've met with the mayor of the city, Kara Spencer. She is trying to get the federal government to provide more assistance, but she says that so far not enough has been done. What Trump has said that he wants to do to FEMA is to eliminate it.
We'll begin the work of fundamentally changing, terminating, or overhauling FEMA. FEMA's been a disaster no matter where they are.
That's looking increasingly unlikely. I think it's becoming apparent that there is some requirement for a federal emergency management agency, but it is being downscaled. Last I saw, 2,000 employees have left since the start of the Trump administration. There's also been a lot of structural changes that have happened. One of the most consequential has been a program that was implemented across the Department of Homeland Security, led by Kristi Noem, in which Noem is required to sign off any expenditure over $100,000.
Why add extra red tape when there is a crisis of this magnitude?
It's not extra red tape. It's making sure everything is getting to my level and that it's immediately responded to.
That has had a dramatic ripple effect throughout FEMA, where there are many programs that are above that level and are getting caught up in the system because they're not being approved, and it's slowing down the process of getting funds out to states. DHS said FEMA is 100% faster in getting boots on the ground to respond to disasters. The evidence shows that that is not true. As we saw after the flooding in Texas, FEMA was slower to respond than it normally would have been. It's also just not responding in a number of instances, such as in St. Louis. Basically, what is ending up happening under a Trump administration is dismantling FEMA and the federal disaster recovery capabilities.